check them out on whatever, Spotify and all that kind of malarkey.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Hey Fiona, you alright?
Yes, I'm
Welcome
fine.
to the podcast.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm fine now. I'm nice and comfy.
Yeah, got a cup of tea, got your feet up.
The feet up.
Yes, feet up. Nice coffee.
My feet
to
rolls
keep
up.
me alert.
Yeah. I'm glad when you put your stuff out, I was like, shit, where am I going to put my feet?
No, it's all right.
That's where I put my feet.
It doesn't matter. It's all right. You can put your feet on that. It's not a problem. It's only a bit of
So
paper.
we got Fiona in because I guess we.
I don't know. I've been chatting to Fiona over the last few weeks. Sorry,
Yeah.
I've been chatting to Fiona over the last few weeks,
Yeah.
mainly about the open mic and stuff like that. And then I mentioned.
I was going to say we didn't. I think we probably maybe seen you once or twice at Ant's open mic, possibly. We didn't go very often. So did you ever go to Ant's ones when they were here?
I started going to Ant's ones at the very first open mic I've ever done in my life. So
yeah. So
was
that here then? Yeah.
Yeah, it was late September.
So we've maybe seen you here a couple of times before, but obviously you've been to a couple of our ones since, so that's how we kind of got talking to you.
Yes, and yeah.
Yeah, which open mic's better? No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
I can't say anything, can I? So
what you want, I don't care.
Don't incriminate yourself.
No, I'm not incriminating myself, but I have actually.
We are joking.
I've written it on Facebook. I've given really candid feedback. One of my biological relatives, to want of a better word, because my biological family are Australian.
What would be the better word for? Oh, because
no, they are.
Still biology.
There's no taboos. I mean, I was adopted.
Oh, I see.
And so my adoptive family, my late mother was Spanish and my father's English, but originally, before I was adopted, obviously my birth family, my biological family, are Australian.
Right, so you're an Aussie.
So and I've met up with them. It's very, very deep to start off with this term, but if people don't talk about it and air it, then it continues being taboo and hidden and so. And I'm not.
What's that got to do with open mics?
What's that got to do?
I'm
with
just
open
keeping
mics?
you on track because I feel like
on Facebook.
I feel like
on Facebook.
Will you let me finish?
Comment,
I feel like if I didn't keep you in check, you're going to run off like 10 miles down the road, and me and Dudsy are way too old to remember. So
feedback from biological cousin. She asked me, how did your open mic go? And that was the one I did on not last Sunday, the Sunday before.
Oh, the Crescent.
And that was the Barco Lounge one, and it was quite rushed.
Oh,
Barcos. I think the girl was quite she wanted to squeeze a lot of people in, and I turned up with my poems, and it was like, well, my poems in total take less than the duration of one song.
Yeah.
And I was rushed there, and I felt very, very uncomfortable. I mean, she gave us the opportunity to speak my words. So anyway,
fair play for going to Barco's and doing
but it was very constrained.
Is that upstairs or downstairs in there?
Downstairs.
Yeah, mate, it's like just having in a fucking bar. Like, what fucking place?
I started really well, haven't I? Sort of slating.
No. I don't think you've got fucking.
No, you're not slaying anybody.
I'm just giving honest feedback that I felt very.
I think you got balls to go out and do that. Like at Barco's.
And then the lass who organises the event, she was stood about 1.5 meters away, having a very loud conversation and giggling, and it was very off-putting. So, yes.
I think
it was very, very off-putting.
I think it's one thing we've not,
And I've got a loud voice and there's a microphone, but like.
Yeah. Well, I think the point of the I always grew up going to open mics where people listened, and like you, obviously if you're in a bar you expect there to be chatter.
Yeah.
But like it was getting rowdy and in there, and I remember me and Eve did a one, and I think I played pretty well, to be fair, but no one was listening. Like similarly to your poetry, mine and Eve's, like me and Dudder when we play, like if people are chatting, we're like, just fucking whack it up. We'll do Prodigy louder, but me and Eve can't do that because we don't play that kind of music. You read poetry, you need people to be able to be respectful and listen, because it's not it's like because it's not like if people want to go on stage and do like all that Big Phil gets up. And people aren't listening, people will tune into Big Phil because he's loud. Or if someone's doing like bouncy big covers, fine. But when like there should be a level of respect in an audience,
there should be a level of respectful stop across the board all night.
What I'm saying is that we can just turn off. We've got the ability to just go. Fuck it,
we
we'll
can
be really loud.
Force people to.
We'll make them listen, but there's not always that.
And there have been times. Different open mics where there have been people laughing really near to the mic, and then I'm reading my poetry that needs some of it, like the ballad poem the one about the voting system. That is hard. I can imagine it. I'm not a punk artist, but I do like punk, like old punk.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How long have you been like reading your poetry for?
Since September last
so
year.
did you start writing and then reading, or
no?
did you...
Well, I've been a closet poet. Since I was a child.
Oh, because like there's a difference between. This will end in a compliment, I promise. There's a difference between obviously writing poetry, because I write poetry because I write songs, which is just poetry, right? Yeah.
That's
and
right,
I get to music.
right.
I get to put music to them.
Yes, exactly.
It takes a long time to get.
Yes,
like me and Dudzy, we haven't really rehearsed, and we can get off stage and bang out quite a few songs because we practiced over 6, 7, 8 years, known each other.
Yeah.
But like with any skill, there is like a development, and I can tell. Well, your last performance last week on the open mic, you know, that your performance was a bit better. You hit words better. I wondered if you've been reading a long time, or whether it's short. So it's not you. So you're still, because you are still on that kind of upward curve of reading, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. No, and I know
doing well.
because I read. I record myself to time myself, because a lot of open mics, the spoken word ones, are 4 minutes. 4 minutes. And
Quite, is that all you get?
4 minute slot. Spoken word.
Where did they do them? Then?
So the last one I went to was called Gobby in the Lobby in Wakefield at the Unity Hall pub. Well, it's based in Unity Hall, the big community centre that they renovated about a decade ago. It's opposite the theatre in Wakefield on Westgate. And I went there, and it's run by, I should know his name, he's called Tim. He's called Tim, anyway, the chap that runs it.
Tim's good enough.
Tim in Gobby in the Lobby, and it was a writer friend of mine who's published, and he's based in Wakefield. And I just sent him a random text saying, are there any open mics that you can recommend in the Wakefield area? And that was last year, when I just started doing the poetry. And the reason why I started writing the poetry is because of this wonderful Bible.
Show it to the camera, because the camera can't see.
It's
not actually a Bible.
What's it called?
It's called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and it is a fantastic book. And it is basically the spiritual path to higher creativity. I'll just read what it says on the back. Since its first publication, The Artist's Way has inspired millions of people to demystify the creative process and open up opportunities for growth and renewal. Julia Cameron's tools will help you rediscover your passions and take the steps you need to change your life. And Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote one of my favourite books, Eat, Pray, Love. 3 times in the last decade I've committed to doing the Artist's Way programme, and each time I've learned something important and surprising about myself and my work. Without the Artist's Way, there would have been no Eat, Pray and Love. And within the 3rd week of this course, I still haven't finished because I've been dithering and I've been busy, but the 3rd week of doing that, I completed my 2021 started my poem, and it was stagnant, and I'm never going to finish it, and it's shit. And I finished it that week on the 3rd week, my autumn poem.
That's good.
Would you like me to read it?
Well, maybe later.
Okay. And then I thought, well, I like it. I really like it. I really like it. I want other people to hear it. And it wouldn't, and that courage, that cojones would never have come had I not demystified. And those demons in my head that told me I was crap, they were the monsters from my
Those
youth,
demons
from
are in
school,
most people's heads.
From the school, the teacher at school that said you were shit at English, the art teacher who said your art was substandard, and all of the parents who like just dismissed you because you didn't get the right grade. And you think it's irrelevant. When on your deathbed, you're not going to think, oh, I only got a D- in my geography. It's not important.
Do you not think that, and this is where like I would probably challenge like most of your like poetry on like an intellectual level, only in that you go full tilt, whereas I'm like a kind of like semi-believer. Like I know you were like, I don't.
What do you mean, believer?
Well, so for example, like I'll use it as an example because you read the other night. You read your conspiracy.
Oh, that one, the Christmas one.
But then, and like, let me finish my point before you respond.
Say pandemic.
You said pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't think I've watched the pandemic thing a couple of times and some stuff similar, but what I would say is I'm where I sit is that it's more likely that it happened, and there's a load of rich people who were like, oh, we can take advantage of this, and then did, and then we got everything else to happen afterwards, rather than it being like a planned thing. So that's where I challenge. But you do go like full. You do go on all subjects. You go full tilt.
It is actually. There's a I'll sum it up. There's a famous quote by J.P. Morgan. Millionaires don't use astrology. Billionaires use astrology.
What?
And it was astrologically, one of my friends who is now a chemical astrologer, in 2019, before it all began, he predicted it by looking at the stars and the procession of stars, but not Mystic Meg, not all that dingle dangles, the horror story, horoscopes, not that, but looking at sidereal. Everything is pinpointed down to how you like your coffee in your natal chart.
Wouldn't it be more like...
And he's predicted it. So, so it is planned per se, but it's very in-depth.
Do you not think that it's more... See, this is where, again, like I'm semi-in. Like, I believe...
It's a purge. It was a cleanse.
It wasn't there, was it?
It was.
No,
it was a cleanse of energy.
Yeah, but
you can believe. The word believe has got the word lie in it.
Yeah, but
so you believe
some
what
words
you want.
have got words in them.
Well, but it's got the word lie. If you believe it, you're halfway there.
Have you ever watched a dude called Jordan Maxwell?
Yeah, but I just think he's like.
I think you'd like Jordan
David.
Maxwell.
No, I've watched it and I just don't. I think he's like David Icke. He's there, he'll give you a little bit of truth. He'll never mention the stuff that I know about or other things that I've come to learn from inner healing and inner growth. They'll never explain that to you.
My initial point was going to be,
yes,
like you go full tilt into stuff, right? Like, so you do go full tilt into, like, whereas we've got like anti-government songs, but they're a bit more like based at bureaucrats and stuff. You know, that's just where the kind of level of conspiracy that me and Dudley are at is like your dickhead governments. You know, I've been down to I've swum in your waters. But I've never...
No, you haven't.
Oh,
no, you haven't.
Not literally.
No, you think you have, but you haven't.
Not literally.
No, you haven't.
Like, you know how far I've been. Like, you don't even know what I've done and what I've seen.
No, and neither do you know about me. You're just presuming. You're believing with a lie.
I've been pretty deep. I haven't touched my point.
Go on, sorry.
The point was, you go pretty deep with...
So
like,
let him waffle.
You go pretty... Let me waffle. Pot kettle. So the point being was, you go full tilt into your poems.
Yes.
So, and you're talking about what is it in that book that made you able to? Because you're talking about like it's shit, I can't finish it, and then something like happens, and you can get straight into writing. So what is it in there that causes you to be able to do that?
Well, actually, most of the poem was written in this book. Most of the poem was written, and it was just niggling, going over and over and over and over a couple of lines, and it was in here. It was all about perfectionism, and that again. Well, if you want to believe it or not, it's up to you. I don't think there's
any such thing. I mean, we use the word perfect
in
the English language quite a lot, but I do not think the perfect thing exists.
Well, it's like time and money. It's
made up.
Perfect. Your illusion of time. You can have a day that you're really knackered and you go, "Oh, that was a long day," but the person next to you go, "No, it's short," because it's your perspective. It's the way you see your facet of the diamond. We're all the same.
But then time is a made up concept anyway.
Yeah. As is money. So.
As is money. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as is
thing is, though,
physicality
and matter. It's interpretation.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I disagree.
Yeah.
But...
Well, anyway.
What?
We can agree to disagree.
I just think it's.
But yes, perfectionism is just self-sabotage, and perfectionism is another form of fear. Because the fear of being, if you're not perfect, well, there's no point in doing it then. And that was what I needed to overcome in this particular chapter in the book, around chapter 2 or 3. And it's not just write. Every day you have to write 3 pages of A4, morning pages, and basically it's what I call Arm Toothpaste. So it comes out of your head, goes and goes onto a page. That's what I refer to it as Arm Toothpaste. And you just write 3. You could write anything, and if you haven't got anything to write, you go, "Oh, I haven't got anything to write," and you will write something, and soon it will be your subconscious that is allowed to splat on the page. And it's amazing how many insights and things, niggles that you had, and maybe you've got something going around your head, maybe the day before you'd had an argument or, a funny word with somebody. You can write it in there. And it's right, the first thing that you do, the very first thing you do, is write your 3 morning pages. And the affirmations as well. And it just sets you up for the day. It just makes your day light. It's almost like meditation.
What is it like? Is it like a release of something?
It's a release. It is. Don't just listen to me. Listen to watch YouTubes or read more about it, or perhaps even get them. It is just.
Well, again,
so
it goes back to that sort of it's your personal level, isn't it?
It's not just mine. I mean, this book's been out for like 25, 30 years, so it wouldn't be bestseller if it was if it was rubbish. So yeah, it's amazing. This book has liberated, and it like one of the exercises in the first chapter was like your demons and your angels. So write a letter to somebody that's really encouraged you in your past. So I wrote a letter to a lass that I used to go to do yoga with at the gym, and I wrote her a letter saying thank you for your support. And then at the same time, I wrote an article in my diary. I wrote a letter to my now deceased art teacher from school, who said I was, rubbish. And I just but in the me then, so like and you look like a khaki old fingered witch and all the rest of it. But it was letting the inner child speak. It was so good, and I no longer have that hatred for that woman. I know it's gone. It's evaporated, but I held on to it for 40, 50 years of my life. So, and it's gone, it evaporated as soon as I did that exercise. And it's such a potent book. And I highly recommend it to anybody that's going through a period of stagnation in their life and is at a crossroads. And it's not just for artists, it's for anybody, really.
That's really good, because everybody's got their own little demons, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just trying to find that way to sort of like get them out, release them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you seem to have found the perfect way, by the sounds of it.
And it's not.
See, I've used the word perfect again.
But it is. But
maybe you found a way that has worked for you.
Yeah, it's ideal.
That's probably the best way.
It is liberating, and as a result of this, instead of buying people tat for birthdays, I've actually bought them the book. I've just gone onto Amazon and just clicked, and here you can have this book, because it's changed my life. Let it help you. People that like myself and many others have gone through a lot of mental turmoil and not very good headspace. So yeah,
I think everybody has that kind of
thing
at some point in their life.
Really
the mental turmoil.
I was on meds, and I was told by shrinks and what have you that I'd be on meds for the rest of my life, and I had a breakdown. I lost my mum, and my world just came crashing in. I was very close to my mum. I don't know if you remember my mum. Small, petite Spanish
Well, I've been
woman,
trying to
fiery.
rack my brains about this fucking T-shirt thing.
Take 10 seconds.
It's a T-shirt.
10 seconds, cheeky cunt.
10 seconds.
I nearly said it as well. I nearly said it.
It's all right.
But no,
Yeah, 20 years ago, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it's 20 plus.
Yeah.
I must have been, so I was probably living with Titch at the time.
That's it.
So I would have been about 19, 20.
Yeah, you were a young lad.
Tonight,
you were a young lad.
So that's going back about 28 years.
Yeah.
So 40.
28, 29 years, yeah, something like that.
Jesus, that long.
And what happened was, I don't know what it was for, but Fiona did this T-shirt and it had a number or something on it. We were trying to work out what it was, whether it was the Green Star Project emblem or a number. And
it was a number?
She painted this, she put this print on this T-shirt for me for when we were in the band.
Hand painted, not
hand
print.
Oh, hand painted, yeah. And those were the days in the cricketers, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was in the Crix.
We used to pretend to play the keyboard.
Yeah, I used to mime most of the time.
But I did do one for Craig.
Fun,
I did a couple for Craig. I did one with just a green star that was neon.
It must have been for a gig then.
It must. I think it was, and it was. I don't know, number 13, but it had Richard or something. It had a name, and it was exactly like a football shirt. I know it was so difficult to paint freehand.
Because I know it was white, wasn't it?
It was
the
white,
T-shirt
and
was
it had
white.
navy blue and red writing or something. And it was. I can't remember. I just can't remember. And somewhere I'll have an analogue, because back in the day of paper photographs.
Yeah.
Paper photograph of it. So yeah, I'll have to have a look.
I used to enjoy them days in the Cricketers. One of my favourite spots to go to.
Definitely.
Like,
You'd
go out, you'd always end up...
Is that Sam Smith, wasn't it?
Yeah. You'd always go back. Jill and
Paul
used to run it, and they used to do one of the best carveries on a Sunday
Yeah.
ever. So you'd go out Saturday night, you'd go back to the Crix, and you'd have like... Because it was Samuel Smith's pub, it was like Ingerbrew stuff.
Yeah.
Ingerbrew lager, and they used to do like a pills on draft. It was like fucking rocket fuel. The amount of times I used to go home and throw my guts up because I'd gone in there like 10:30 just to cram a couple of 2 or 3 pints of Pilsner in me before I went home, and but such good times, great period of my life that.
Yeah, same.
Going in there.
The Crix, that period, I'd say from when I left uni, so that'll be 1996. Yeah, 1996, and I didn't know anyone in the Crix, and I didn't really know anyone in Selby, but except I used to work at the Madhouse. Well, it wasn't the Madhouse. It was called Pacific Heights then, but it was still known as Pacific Heights. That's where I worked. I worked on the bar.
That's definitely showing your age now.
I know. So that was I was at uni, so I was, and it was in, I don't know, second or third year.
Was Cloud9 before that then?
I don't know.
Or was it after?
I don't know. But it was like early 90s, and I worked as a barmaid. And then I met Alan McMaster. Do you know Alan McMaster? No, never mind. Anyway, he married a Spanish. He married one of my former students that I'd fixed him up with.
Nice.
Yeah, when I was a language assistant in Spain called Violetta. Anyway, but he introduced me to somebody, Adam Deakin, with the dreadlocks.
Oh yes,
he lives in Leeds Road. Anyway, and he said, "Oh, you'd love the Crix," and then that was it. I went in, and then he started hearing me talk, and I was quite vulgar, really vulgar, Larry, and he was like, "You are the female version of the Mac Lads," and I was like, "Who the Mac Lads?" No, and then he played Nuki Brown. That was my introduction to the Mac Lads, and Desperate Dan, and I was hooked. And then I think I bought every album by the Mac Lads, and yeah. Lovely, love the Mac Lads.
Nice.
Funny as fuck.
It was a good atmosphere in there as well.
Yeah, and it was the only pub in Selby that didn't require a bouncer on the door.
No.
Because the clientele were
and
just
they did
nice
live
and chilled.
music, and they had a jukebox.
Oh, the jukebox was ace.
The jukebox was good.
You'd have to get there before the Manic Street Preachers crowd, because there was quite a few of the big fan club likes.
That was usually Ginna from Summerland, wasn't it?
The music quiz and the aeroplane at the end of the music quiz on a Sunday. You win pints, tokens for pints. But at the end of it, you could win another pint or two in the aeroplane race.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Fucking hell,
I've never seen that in any other pub. It's so novel. And you'd be like, oh, here we go, all the origami geniuses.
Having a red blast from the past. Sorry.
Aerodynamics.
Carry on.
It was great. Really, really happy time. So that was my introduction to real Selby, the Crix.
Well, so, I suppose it was kind of like segregated from Selby, really. Even though it's a kind of like a town centre pub.
Yeah.
It was kind of different sort of people that went. You didn't get your usual Griffin, Blackamoor sort of clientele.
It was great. It's really nice bunch of people.
Yeah.
That were more music. I think more music and sort of alternative.
Yeah, because they did live music there as well.
Yeah.
Which was.
And they did karaoke for a period.
I can't remember that. Must have been before my time. That.
We're thinking about doing a karaoke now, aren't we?
Yeah, they do. But you can't say it.
We know we're gonna do one. I think we're gonna. I think we're just gonna. I got asked the other night if I'd put a karaoke night on here, so I was like, yeah.
Right.
Because it'd be fun.
That would be funny as fuck. I don't know where all the backing tracks are coming from. Shall we ask someone if we can borrow the
Oh dear. Well, I mentioned this sort of debacle and sort of nuance in language to various friends that are musicians down south. And they said that's the reason they don't do open mics, because there's too many karaoke style that they've stopped doing them. So yes. So I'll leave that at that. So yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll get some more people coming out to this one on a Thursday. So
yeah.
If you can come out on a Thursday, come out, please.
It was enjoyable. Yeah, it was enjoyable. Just tinkering away behind your poetry on Thursday. That was quite.
I really enjoyed it.
Quite nice.
I really enjoyed it. It was
just something completely different. Yeah.
And when I listened, when Eve sent me the email with the recording, and I listened to it, I actually wasn't as cringe as I thought I was. So it was splendid, and it worked. It really worked. I thought I probably would have sounded like Ian Smith out of Birds with Ears. If you've not heard it, go listen to Youth in Asia. But it's a fantastic album. But anyway, Ian Smith, and it has that, and I was like spoken but singing, a bit like Ian Dury in the Blockheads. Hit me with your rhythm stick. Yeah. That kind of.
Didn't Mark E. Smith used to be a bit like that from The Fall? Do you remember The Fall, Manchester band?
Yeah, I do, but not. I don't really know their repertoire. Sorry, but not really au fait with a lot
he
of their
was
music.
Very kind of like similar to that. I mean,
possibly,
he wasn't the greatest singer,
spoken, but like Anyway, but I really enjoyed it, and I do think that ought to occur again. Por favor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, I can I'll just play around with other little riffs, or just keep the same one. It's entirely up to you.
And again, I mean, I've got poems that I can envisage being sung or being used by bands. You know, so lyrics, and especially ballads. I mean, it's so close to my heart, that one. And that was the quickest poem I wrote, and it was for York Spoken Word. And it was I asked the lady for the October spoken word if there was a cue or a subject, and she said, well, she was flying over to America to vote. It'll be voting, and I've just Arm Toothpaste splat, and hardly any corrections. It was just done, and it rhymed, and I just tightened it up a bit, and and sometimes I really like it.
Though, doesn't
really
it?
Like it. Really like that poem. It's just sums everything I need to say on voting.
It's a bit like songwriting, though. Sometimes a song can come like that in 5 minutes. Sometimes it can take 5 months.
Flow.
Yeah.
Flow.
We got a song. We got a song called. It's called About 6 Months. It's that came from watching Russell Brand, and he said. What's the difference between fact and conspiracy? About 6 months, and so we wrote something like that. But that took like ages to write, because I dropped into doing like kind of quite cliche lines, and I changed a few bits. The guitars are complicating stuff, but
it's one of my favourite.
It's still not really. It's still not really like. There's still bits lyrically I'm not like happy with. Like sometimes it takes a while. Then other songs you just sit down and we just write a song. And then, like when you wrote Sheep, it was just like a song within like a day. Yeah.
Well, the lyrics came, because sometimes I can sit and, if I've got an idea or an idea comes to me, I'll sit and write some lyrics. And so sometimes the lyrics come first, and then obviously they get changed slightly to fit the music. But then sometimes the music comes first, sometimes it's both together.
Yeah.
With Sheep, though, like you were pissed off that tree was getting cut down. Wrote some lyrics.
No, that was Majestic Beast.
Majestic Beast. Like
what?
Majestic Beast.
Oh, Beast.
The song's called Majestic. It's my first album, and I'm getting confused. But there's a tree outside his old house that was getting just taken out for no real reason, and he was really pissed off about it. 'Cause it was a really nice tree.
Yeah.
And then he was messaging me as it was happening, showing pictures, and he was pissed off. And then he came over that afternoon to do some studio work, and he goes, "Oh, I've got this. I wrote this fucking song about the tree." And then I was like, "Oh, I've got that little riff that we've been thinking about." And then you put your guitar to it, and literally, so within that day, we'd had the whole song. We never changed it since.
Brilliant.
So it was all written. We didn't change anything. We just kind of went and did it, and that does happen sometimes.
Yeah,
It
does.
But I don't think you have to put. I think the problem with, I think that's probably what that book says as well, is that you can't put limits on creativity. No. You just have to kind of sit with it or go with it. It just depends on the situation.
It's never a right time. Like that's what I used to say. Oh, I'll do it when I feel. No. Just do it. Don't do it when you think you'll feel. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Just do it. Yeah. So to quote Nike, just do it. Just do it. And speaking of Russell Brand, he's read this book and he's found it useful, because his quote on the back of it's, "I love it. A practical, spiritual, nurturing book." There you go.
You also done some weird things.
Martin Scorsese is said he wouldn't have been able to do whatever one of his films that he did and what have you.
Well, it's all says he's a genius.
So yeah, he's read it and he recommends it. Anyway.
Are you spiritual then?
Pardon?
Are you spiritual?
Yeah, we're all spiritual.
Yeah.
We just don't know it. Some people do and some people don't. And some people, yeah, I don't really want the label, really. I'm just am. So,
no, right. It's not a label.
No.
It was
It's just
more like
it's
a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we all are. We're all.
Do you? I would push back and say we could be. I mean, we're all from Stardust, essentially.
Yeah, that's it. We're all.
That doesn't mean we're spiritual by nature, like. So I don't know. I'm again.
Well, we've
like,
got a soul. We've got.
Yeah, but again, I'm like 50-50 because like the rational part of my brain's like, well, yeah, but we're just biology. So how can that? You know, a soul. You can't prove a soul. A soul.
If it was scientific,
scientifically
proven,
how can you prove a soul?
They're starting to. Scientists are now starting to realise that there is a thing called ether. And that's the spirit. That's
but that's just changing what they're saying is ether as a soul. Well, you don't know that. You can't prove that ether is the soul, can you?
I'm not saying that ether is consciousness, and we're swimming in a sea of consciousness.
But again, consciousness doesn't prove soul, does it?
Well, I think it's all more or less on the same par, but I don't really like the label spiritual.
Yeah, no, I get you. No, I feel you. I don't like it either.
And you know, religion and what have you, but.
We hate it.
Well, no, but it's like yeah. Everything I write about this.
I
write about this. Everything you need is within.
Is
within.
Yeah, and I like
all the answers that you ever need to any question you ever want is within. Just need to quieten the mind. That's what the morning pages are fantastic. Because you're quietening that mind.
That's what Google was for. Because Google does
yeah.
Google, as above and so below. Google is just a representation of another thing.
What I was going to say is I like the I just am, because I don't think that any labels ever help anyone. Like,
no, they don't.
But I draw a line at saying things about souls, just because I feel like I feel like souls are something that we've imagined to be true. And where I differ to most people, I don't think that detracts from the idea. Like,
I don't think that
detracts from the idea of a soul. Like, I don't necessarily think it's true,
all right.
But I like the idea of it, and I feel like you can, if you feel like you've got one, it can be beneficial.
Yes,
but I just don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah,
we're a seeing as believing type. We're very open-minded, but we like to see this shit.
The fact that you said there's such an oxymoron. Seeing is believing, but open-minded. No, open the mind, literally open.
How's that an oxymoron?
An oxymoron.
Yeah, but how is it? I know what it is, but how is that?
It's like you're saying one thing and then it's the complete opposite.
How so?
You're saying that you're open-minded, but you're saying seeing is believing. But actually, believing is seeing.
No, what I'm saying is that it's...
If you believe, you'll see it.
We have the potentiality to be able to be like, if someone can show me a soul,
yeah,
the minute we believe it, we wouldn't be like,
you don't.
We wouldn't push back.
Everything is energy. Everything is energy.
Yeah, of course.
So to get into a lower realm of energy, this is physicality is a lower energy. Oh, it's so complicated, and I'm really not. I'm not a physicist as such. I'm a poet, and I do write about these kind of things in a very simplistic manner because it's simple. It is really simple, and everything that you really want, everything is within, and it's within you. And love is a verb. Love in action, and that is that connection. When you're nice to somebody. When you're nice to somebody, you do something nice, not for money, not for status, not for, look at me, look at me. I'm not saying you are, but a lot of people are. Look at me, oh, look how generous I am. And they do it on YouTube and for followers or whatever. But you do something, a random act of kindness. How does that make you feel?
Sure, it makes you feel great, but that doesn't necessarily indicate anything other than it's just a good thing to do.
Where does it make you feel great? Where in your body?
It doesn't make me feel great anywhere. I just feel.
Have you ever tuned into where it makes you feel?
Yeah, I've done a lot of work on like mindfulness and like kind of trying to like view feelings from outside of yourself, like almost.
Out of body experience kind of thing.
Like if you're gonna, what they do, like, you know, giving ketamine to people who are depressed so they can see themselves from the outside, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Dissociative and that, but like, I do know about it and stuff, but like, I don't. I just don't relate it to anything other than like I've just done something nice. That's nice. Like that might make that person's day a bit better. Cool.
Yeah.
That's as far as I go. I don't really like think it's like anything energy related.
Well, we'll have to just agree to disagree.
Gonna have to
fair.
Yeah. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, for you maybe, but yeah.
If we all agreed, it'd be boring as shit, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But again, I think it's just boils down to
experience,
personal, your own personal experience.
Like I said,
and if it gives you comfort on a daily basis, then
yeah, I mean, like I said,
I don't think about things. I just really do. What this book really does, just open you up to literally opening and shattering the rubbish that we've been programmed to believe, that we're just the physical, we're just this, you are what you own.
You're just a number.
You're just a number, you're just a digit, you're just a cog in the system, because you are.
Well,
just a cog in the system.
We are.
You are.
We literally are.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right.
And when you start to open up to the actual, how language is manipulated, especially English, is manipulated and used. That's why I play on that, the play on words.
Yeah, but who manipulates it and who uses it? That's the thing.
Who controls the realm? Who controls the physical realm? Which organisations control the physical realm? Who runs the big pharma? Who runs the banks? Who control the system that we all live in?
But then, on a personal level, I control the decisions I make.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, fair enough. I have to conform. I have to conform to certain things, paying tax, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But even still, saying that, I still have to make decisions, which gives me the pass through life.
Yeah.
What my concern always with this stuff is, this is why I'm always like skeptical, because I obviously also like balls deep in like, anti-corruption and stuff like that, and a lot of the conspiracy kind of stuff, but like, I'm always reticent to be like, it's because I can control, because I am, and that, only because I always think I hate that shit, and if I could control the world, I would get rid of all that stuff immediately. I would tax the shit out of rich people and stuff, and I don't seem to be able to manifest it, so I don't understand.
What? Sorry, you're saying that you would fight? What? Sorry.
No, but I'm saying, if you're saying that everything's from within, right?
It is everything. Yeah, everything's mine. All is mine.
Yeah, sure. But this is what I'm saying. Like in my mind, and a lot of my time, not a lot of them anymore, but for a very long time, a lot of my time was spent like thinking, how the fuck can we stop corruption? How can we stop like big companies basically taking the world, like small countries? But that was like with all my world, but I didn't change anything.
But you can change you, and you can change your immediate surrounding, and then that has a ripple.
That's what Dudley's saying, though. You can change. You can only control.
But you can only.
That's
it. That's like me with the litter picking. I won't start with the whole shebang. What happened today, because there was smoke come out my nostrils again. But and it's taken me a long time to calm down before I've come here to calm down.
All right, well, don't get yourself in a.
No, I'm not going to get my knickers in a twist. But yes, it's like the litter picking. I can't pick up every single piece of litter in the planet. There's only me. So what can I do? Well, I can clear up Brayton. I can tidy up Brayton. I can make Brayton look nice. I can make areas of Selby look nice. And it's monkey see, monkey do. It's like other people see me doing it. And I have a great big high vis that says volunteer for litter, blah, blah. And I'm writing poems about the effect that litter picking, litter tossing litter, and chucking it and willy-nilly and not thinking about anything, and not using a bin, and the damage it does. Is that? Yeah, mine. You would never have guessed. And pool bags hanging from trees and all this business, because I'm a voice for the animals. If anything, it's like nobody listens to them. Well, we do. I do, and other people do, but
a certain amount.
A certain amount do, but others just don't give a fuck.
Again, it's that personal.
But that's it.
Thing
so
as well, personal
what
decisions.
can I do to change my immediate environment? Well, I do poem. I could. Someone at York Spoken Word said to me, "Why don't you write a smutty poem? Because they really sell." And I said, "Well, that's not me. That would have been me 20 years ago when I was a bit, more like that." And more liberal, shall we say? And but But that was me then. I don't want to go backwards. So I want to write things that are of intrinsic value going forward. And if someone hears my bauble poem and thinks twice about putting the poo bag in a flipping river, a full poo bag, then that's brilliant, because that's one poo bag that's an animal's life saved, or something, or a waterway that's not polluted, because that person listened to my poem and thought, do you know what? I've been a bit of a dick. I won't do that. Brilliant, or whatever. That's fantastic.
It's kind of very similar to sort of like when we're doing a gig. If there's let's say 20 people watching, if one person likes it, I'll go away happy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go away a bit pissed off that the other 19 didn't fucking interested, but
that's
just
value.
just that one. So, for me, that's a similar sort of thing. It's sort of like you're making a difference, even just to one person.
Just one person.
And
that's the thing. Like the Facebook Society with the likes. It's given us this gratification that we must have lights. It's almost like the validation thing. You don't need validation.
Exactly that. Yeah.
And that's been a real issue all my life. The validation, looking to others. But the school system makes it looking to others for validation. Your teacher, your mum and dad, your brother, if you've got brothers and sisters, anyone you looked up to give you validation. You don't need that. No. And this book teaches that as well.
It's a difficult thing.
It is.
Because
it is.
There is there's always expectations within a situation.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever you're doing, there's an expectation, and
yeah.
Sometimes you can get yourself into situations whereby you're having to deal with people that aren't going to resonate with the way you see the world, or the way you want to live your life, or the things that you want to do. And there's always going to be people who bring down and think, or attempt to say things that don't really seem always fair, but whatever, it's their opinion. But then it's really hard to not let that affect you, So I think it's good that you have got that mindset where you can just be like,
expectation always leads to suffering.
Often.
If you expect something from somebody else, you suffer, because 9 times out of 10 you expect perhaps that they're going to give you a nice compliment. So what you're expecting from the other person, just tell it to yourself. So if you've performed a song, you love it, you know it's good. You know it's good.
We've had gigs where
and I bet you, and nobody's clapped, nobody's, I bet it's demoralising.
It's demoralising, but we always just have fun.
But your music's good. It's good.
It's good. And that's the beauty.
It's good, and it, and that's brilliant. But with it,
Well, that's music for you, because at the end of the day, it's good in our eyes.
Yeah.
But it might not be good in somebody else's.
That's right.
And that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I know.
People might hate what we do. Yeah. People might like what we do. People maybe sit on the fence.
When you expect to have an outcome that didn't go your way, like today, for example, I put my poem, "Beauty Lies." What's it called? Beauty dies where litter lies. It's gone long ranty verdict where my stapled together and I'm fluffed up. But anyway, and I put that with a little spiel and a little introduction, and I put it on Facebook on UK litter picking groups. And I've seen other people put poems on there, but I put that one. They just didn't. They put it on, but they ghosted it, so it didn't have a lot of views. And I thought, and I went to the woods and I did my litter picking and walked Athel and came back. And I edited it, so I took the YouTube video out and I took a lot of spiel. I just left it with the poem and a little paragraph, and they still ghosted it. And I thought, right, people are wanting to, I've told people on the group that this is happening, and I'm putting this thing, and it wasn't. And I'm thinking, do they think it paranoia? Do they think it's shit or something? And I thought, no, but I know it's good, and it's got. There's a lot of integrity in it.
We missed a lot of the. We didn't miss it, but we didn't get involved in a lot of the recent ridiculous controversy basically just by. We basically post in Ghost, essentially. So we just post what we want, and then we very rarely interact.
So the karaoke.
We didn't get into that at all. But I'm saying that as an example. But anything we do, we very rarely interact. Because we don't really care about. We just like making music. So if we've had a gig, the only time we ever get annoyed, and actually it's only me who gets annoyed because he's pretty good.
You're quite chill. He's
pretty chill. I'm chill. I'm chill. I'm definitely chill.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just.
Sorry, that was my dog. Sorry, that's my dog walking alarm. Sorry.
Oh, it's an alarm, not.
It's an alarm to take her out for a poo walk.
The only time is when it's bad is when I know I've not played very well. Those ones when you know you're not performing very well, it's not going very well. That's the time I get annoyed. Like if I get to a gig and there's no one there clapping, I think when you started out it was a bit annoying, but then you get used to it and you just like have a good foot. But if I've been bad, then I get annoyed and like shit. Fucked up.
Yeah, no, I do as well. Yeah.
But you know when you've played a good one, and to be fair, the majority of the times that we have, it's been appreciated. You know.
Yeah.
We've had some like really good feedback.
Yeah.
So, it's that sort of swings and roundabouts. You know, as long as we treat each gig as, I mean, obviously I've not done that many gigs over the last year, but as long as we keep treating each gig as just right,
it's experience.
This is what we enjoy doing. This is our passion in life. So. You know, I mean, I used to get really nervous.
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably did when you first started getting up and doing the poems. Yeah, no, I used to get super nervous.
Weirdly, I shake weirdly sometimes, and I'm not nervous. But my hands are like that. I'm like, oh, for crying out loud, stop wobbling! I can't read it. You know, it's like, what is going on there?
So you've got the confidence then, yeah.
I think it's the anticipation and the excitement of getting on there as
well,
and just sharing my words with the world.
Channeling, Rich has taught me to channel that nervous energy into sort of like the positive energy, and I learned how to do that, and then now he can't shut me up. On the mic and stuff.
So now I won't staple any of my poems together after I've cocked up there on the very first one where I was like, and then so I won't be doing that. And never, ever am I stapling any of my work together again. See, so I learned. That's learned, and and there's certain items in my wardrobe that will never be worn again as well. That's the thing. Like I'm a reverse anorexic. I think that I'm slimmer than I am, and then I get it. And this is another thing. Like I've always been really negative about my image, and I having to look at videos of yourself reading. I think that's just your vessel. Get over it. That's just your transportation vehicle, and like you've got a beat up car, whatever. That's just that is not you. That is just your vehicle. So and knowing that's not really me. It'll eventually whatever another 30, 40 years or whatever, it'll just disintegrate and just transmute back into the earth. Exactly, it's just energy and just melt into the ground and produce compost and be worm food, and I don't care because that's not me. That's just the vessel. I'll be in a different realm. I don't care.
Well, that's beaten by
you can get these places now where it's not like a proper burial site.
Yeah,
it's a burial site, and you get
that's what I'm getting. There's one just
really
outside Whitley, on the A19.
There's one close by.
There's one in Whitley. I think. There's the Owl Hotel on the corner. I'm sure it's called the Owl. It's
Hamilton.
No. On the so you go over the M62 past Whitley
where
Bridge.
Where the trees are?
And it's on the route en route to Askern. Before you get to Askern.
Is it called the Alton?
That's
it.
Something. That's it. The Alton Lodge or something. That's it.
Alton Lodge.
And then just after that, there's a field. It says Memorial Park, and so within there's also terramation and aquamation.
My friend Sarah, who sadly took her own life a couple of years back, she's got one of those like burials, and she's got a tree for
Yeah, good idea. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather be that than... Well,
fertilising a tree, and then in what, a couple of hundred years, you might,
get some
providing
apples
the world
me.
hasn't disintegrated itself.
I just want to go in like full body for like a great white shark, you know, take to Australia and just chuck me in and see if any shark, because I like sharks and I like to be able to feed them, you know.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's very Buddhist. I mean, they just when they, when they're about to die, they went to the top of the mountain and let the birds eat them. Yeah. So
that means you'll end up coming out as excrement then.
Probably,
it doesn't matter.
Floating around in the Pacific Ocean, a shark poo.
Yeah,
a shark poo.
Sums up my life, doesn't it? Really, you know what I mean?
Lovely.
Shark shit.
Shark shit.
Nothing but shark shit. What a life. Fuck yeah.
I definitely want to be like buried like that, and
No, I'm not.
And have a tree planted.
I'm not fussed, but
not that 50 years time, nobody's going to remember. You don't remember? Can you name your great grandparents or your great grandparents? I can't.
Great grandparents.
I only knew
one of them.
My grandparents. That was it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, my great grandparents. I only knew one of them. She was the only one that was alive. So I'm one great grandmother on my dad's side, and
although everything's ridiculously documented nowadays.
Yeah, I know, but
so in about 200 years' time, you can go back 200 years and go, well, this is exactly what happened on this date and this time.
So why not leave a legacy of music so that the people can enjoy forever, or words?
It's already there.
Or the written word. It's already, everything that's ever been created has already been created. Nothing's original, blah, 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 blah.
Listen to... This is this Ed Sheeran song of the day when I was doing one of those disco party things, and his song was solo of the song.
I feel sorry for you.
Literally, you just change one note. It's bonkers. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
right, have you got anything you want to promote, or have you got anything upcoming? You want to show us any of those pictures in that pretty book? I'll let you sort that out.
It's probably left them at home, haven't I? I've probably put them in another book. I don't think there is anything in this book.
So do you put pictures to the poetry, or is the drawing separate?
I have. I am in the process, very slowly, of writing an anthology because it's something that I've always wanted to do. And let's just put that back. And I think there might be in this one. So but these are drawings that I've done. These are prints of drawings I've done. So this one here is called Running Out of Time, when I believed all that dingle-dangles about the...
What dingle-dangles?
Dingle-dangles, but I'm not going to go into it because I know a lot of people still do. That's called Running Out of Time. Can you see anything in that?
I can see quite a few things.
What can you see? What can you see?
I can see like what could be a monkey.
Yep.
And
something like an eight-legged friend. But then I've got a couple of ears up here, some kind of like something from the Lord of the Rings.
Can you see? Right, a cow. You've got there a cow. So there's a cow at the top of the picture.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom of the picture, at the other half, there is an orangutan. And the orangutan's forehead, or his third eye, or whatever you want to call it, is the Earth, as used by, I think it's the UN. That's their map, the Flat Earth map. Because I was into it, but it is. I'm not getting into Flat Earth. No, I don't want to get into that. No. I'm not getting into that.
You already dislike me, and you'll dislike me even more when I dismantle Flat Earth.
No. I know it's not. I don't believe in it either. But this was at a time when, that's what I'm saying about the dingle dangles. So and the whole climate change.
You can't help but get into it, can you? With Flat Earth, eventually you just come to it.
This basically says there's hidden words in the trees. The trees are burning and the roots are burning, and the idea is that when you're eating the cow, you can't see the damage done to the habitat of the orangutan, because the crops that are grown and raised, the ground is raised to grow crops to feed animals in the West, to feed the people that eat animals. So there.
Are you vegetarian?
No,
vegan?
Definitely not.
Oh, okay.
No.
Anyway, not all about that.
I'm vegan. Yeah. So yes. So that's what that's about, and that was for World Earth Day that I put that in for an exhibition. And then this one again, similar vibe. That one. So it says in the tree, it says "Go vegan, for all in the roots, and the screaming roots.
It said go vegan. I missed
Go,
that.
it's all. I love my optical art. So in the top of the trees, in the top parts of the branches.
Oh yes, I can.
It says,
that's very clever.
And then in the bottom it says for all.
Yeah.
But then people say love. You can see love as well, which mean heart, earth, same thing. So yeah.
Lots of depth.
So when did you become vegan then? Have you been vegan?
No, not all my
quite a long
life.
time?
No, I went vegan. 2018. Not long. Yeah, and I was. It was one of those things on Facebook where, you know, like you put your favourite album, and one of my friends put Meat is Murder by Morrissey. And I thought, I'm going to watch the video.
Was that Morrissey or was that the Smiths?
Smiths, no, one of the other. Anyway, and then I watched it, and I was just like, oh my God, that's horrible. And I thought, well, surely you need to know this because you eat these animals, so get a grip. And then I just went online. And I, in order of edibility, or in order of the animals that I ate. So for me, it was pigs, chicken, fish, and then cows. And I went in that order. And then I just started watching how my food is processed. And I was so...
It's a bit ruthless in places, isn't it?
Well... And then I just thought, I don't want to contribute to this anymore. And that was it. And I'll leave it at that because people hate people that are like me. So for reasons because.
But again, that's
there.
It sounds like obviously
it hurt me so much. It hurt
for you.
No, I've become a vegan.
Else.
I've become vegan for the animals.
Yeah, but for the animals. But
some people
it's your choice.
Some people are vegan because they want to have a good physique, and they're the ones that generally fall off the bandwagon because they're doing it for themselves, for their
people
exterior.
Are vegan because they think it's trendy.
And yeah, exactly. It's just to get Instagram followers and all that.
It's hard to get enough protein to get a good physique when you're vegan.
Well, that's absolute dingle dangles because if you've ever heard of Fiona Oakes, Oakes, and if you've ever heard of quite a lot of people that everything's got protein in it. And too much protein is actually bad for you, and it's
there is.
Well, I don't expect you to believe anything I say.
There is good ways
after what you've talked about today. Christ.
Well, luckily for us, we're out of time, so.
Knew it.
Thanks very much.
Anyway, are you off? Anyway, so that's. Oh God.
We are. Seriously, almost out of time. So,
that's brilliant.
Is there anything else you want to promote? Are you reading anywhere else? Or?
I am. I've got what have I done? Well, I've got Gobby in the Lobby next.
Where's that?
Next, that's in Wakefield Unity Hall, and that's the March something. I don't know what. April 17th, that's it. 17th.
Excellent.
And I haven't got my diary with me, so unfortunately...
Have you got anything on socials?
Yes,
with your poetry?
I have got a YouTube channel, which is under Fiona Kearns, or F Kearns Creations.
F Kearns Creations.
Yeah.
Do you put your art online or anything like that?
I do put a little portion of it online.
Is there like a separate website?
Yes, I've got Instagram, which is at F_Kearns_artist.
Best thing to do with all that is message me.
It's so boring.
The best thing to do with all that is message me all your links to all websites, socials, and everything, and I'll use that when we put the podcast out.
Yeah, all right then. Okay.
Because I won't remember what you've just said. Then what your
I
Instagram name
can't
is.
remember half the time as well.
Remember like a fucking sieve.
So anyway, yeah. Cool. No one ever died of a protein deficiency.
Good way to end. Thanks for coming on, Fiona.
Yeah, thank you very much, Fiona. That's great.
Brilliant. All right,
thanks.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.